Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Maybe you remember that about a month ago, the United Kingdom promised and said that they will deliver, depleted uranium shells to Ukraine to use against the Russians. The Russians said, well, that is, bringing radioactive components on the front, and that means for us is like a nuclear attack and we're going to react. Something like that, if you remember. The Brits said, we don't care. No, it's just a small quantity of uranium. That's not a lot of radioactive quantity over there. So we don't even pay attention to whatever you say. So now I have an article, I have two articles, one from BBC, the other one from the Russians. The BBC article is from a month ago, telling us how the Brits argued their delivery of depleted uranium shells, and how the Russians said, hey, this is our counter-argument. And then we're going to go to today, when Russia Today reported that, hey, actually, that's been delivered and the Ukrainians will use it. Then what? So we're going to find out what the Russians' reaction is, because they said the Russians said then, that is like a nuclear attack against us. That's how we take it. Now, let's see. So let's go first to this BBC article from March 21st, 2023. And it says, Ukraine war. UK defends sending depleted uranium shells after Putin warning. So they didn't give a damn. Why? If we rape, that's not a rape. If they rape, that's a rape. So if the Russians would use, or maybe they used, depleted uranium, that would have been considered, well, bad and criminal, war crime and all that. Now, we use it, seems to be okay. So President Vladimir Putin has said Russia would be, and I'm quoting, forced to react if the UK sent shells made with depleted uranium to Ukraine. He accused the West of deploying weapons with a, and I'm quoting, nuclear component. And quote, the UK Ministry of Defense confirmed it would provide Kiev the armor-piercing rounds alongside Challenger 2 tanks, but insisted they had a low radiation risk. What? It says depleted uranium, and I'm quoting, is a standard component and has nothing to do with nuclear weapons. The British Army, and I'm quoting, has used depleted uranium in its armor-piercing shells for decades, the statement added. So this is a historical fallacy. They say, well, we've been raping for the past 25 years. What's your problem now? Well, maybe I was wrong all these 25 years. So say, we've been using this. What's wrong with that? It's like the Americans would say, well, we used napalm in Vietnam, so what's wrong with that now if we use it again? You know what I mean? Well, thing is, they're going to use a little bit. It's not even, what was the word they used here? They said they have, it's a standard component and it's has a low radiation risk. So that means low radiation risk is, like we're not going to give you a big dose. We're going to give you a small dose every 5 minutes. And they're going to give you, it's just a small dose. But every 5 minutes, I don't know if you understand, and I'm pretty sure you are understanding all this, it's going to add. So when this guy's, it's just a little one, but if you drop a ton of those, that would add, wouldn't it? What do you think? So this is the argumentation the British defense minister makes. Imagine, I'm not going to do it hard. I'm just going to do it slow, but it's still going to be a rape. Is that how this guy's, it's just, I'm not going to last long. I'm going to last, I don't know, 30 seconds. It's going to be a fast, thing. It's just a fast 30 seconds. Why do you complain? All right, it's just a small dose. Now let's move to the Russian article. Comes from Sputnik, and it says this is from 2 hours ago. It's hot, hot, hot. When you're hot, you're hot. Remember? When you're not, you're not. So UK gave Ukraine thousands of shells, including depleted uranium rounds. So let's see. The United Kingdom has provided Ukraine with thousands of shells for the donated Challenger 2 main battle tanks. UK Minister for Armed Forces James Happy said on Tuesday. I think that's how you pronounce his name, James. So I'm quoting, "We have sent thousands of rounds of Challenger 2 ammunition to Ukraine, including depleted uranium armor-piercing rounds," he said. He said in a written answer to a parliamentary query. Now, remember, Great Britain is not involved in this war whatsoever. It just gives Russia's enemy, if you want to put it that way, depleted uranium rounds and Challenger 2 blah blah blah. Okay, but it's not involved. Don't hit us. Do not even dare to attack us because we're not involved. We just provide them with deadly, how they call it here, with small dose. Yeah, we provide them with small dose of depleted uranium, but we're not involved. It's like we gave them candies actually. Now, Happy did not give an estimate of the number of depleted uranium rounds fired by the Ukrainian armed forces, citing operational security reasons. Okay, the minister, like it matters if you send 3,000 or 8,000. Anyway, I don't even care. The whole thing here is BS. You send them one depleted uranium round, and that would be enough. I don't need 3,000, 5 million. You raped one time, it doesn't matter you raped one time or 5 times. It's a rape right there from the very beginning. But anyway, I'm not in charge of anything actually, but I'm only in charge of myself most of the time. The minister also admitted that the UK was not monitoring the locations from where these rounds were fired and added that his country was not obligated to help Ukraine clear up the depleted Ukrainian rounds post-conflict. All right, I gave you all those things. We have nothing to do with that. Now, depleted uranium, DU, is used in armor-piercing shells due to its high density. As such, missiles can significant damage upon penetration. So missiles cause significant damage. Depleted uranium is less radioactive than unprocessed uranium. The key word here is less radioactive. So it is radioactive, but it's less. All right. So it's 1 rape versus 3 rapes. So they tell me how take it is. It's just 1. As it is mainly related to alpha particles, which do not penetrate the skin. However, it still possesses radiation hazard, as people may breathe or ingest tiny radioactive particles, which means high risk of developing lung, lymph, and brain cancer. Imagine that the US, let's say the politicians will tell you, well, we're just gonna do some tactical live ammunition, exercise in your neighborhood with depleted uranium shells. Do you think that everybody would be, it's fine? The Green Party in Europe would be, that's nothing. They would come and say, it's just a little tiny. I mean, unless you inhale it, that's fine, man. Why are you so, Jesus Christ, party pooper? That's how they would argue here. But over here, it would happen. Oh my God! Imagine something like this. And not only that, many other little things that right now is the global warming. Oh my God! And they do all kind of things. But this, it's nothing. It's just, if you don't ingest it, that's fine, man. You can't make it up. You cannot make it up. So, such shells were actively used by NATO forces in Iraq during the 1991 Gulf War and the 2003, that's where they, I'm guessing, tested the new ones, and the 2003 invasion, as well as in Yugoslavia during the 1999 bombing campaign. It resulted in massive contamination and raging cancer rates across the affected nations. I don't know the massive, but anyway, as well as in some NATO troops. Now, imagine that Sputnik, we would not have access to Sputnik, all right? At least I would not have access. I would give you this article instead, and you would never know about this, what these guys are reporting. I'm saying this because I'm thinking about Tucker Carlson, that you will not hear his version of events. Lies, exaggerations, or things like this that he does and the other side doesn't do at all. But you will not have access to that. So imagine that all of a sudden this would be verboten. You can't access it. You will not hear anything about, it's just a tiny dose of uranium. What are you so, what's wrong with you, man? The same here. So that's where you let other people, your enemies, give you some, you would call it, I don't know, disinformation, misinformation, exaggerations, because you want only your side to be heard. You want to be in charge of propagandizing. You don't want competition, especially if sometimes competition comes in, during the process of propagandizing us, tells us some things that we didn't know, and we can look deeper in that. Look deeper in that, you might find the truth. And these guys are going, what the hell? So all I want is to provide it with information that makes me think and look deeper into things. You don't have to tell me, and I don't, oh my God, Sputnik said that one. Oh, it's a massive contamination. I ignore that. But I'm not an idiot. I know that that's not okay. And the volume will add. I ignore the propaganda. Oh, massive this. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But at least it gives me something that I can look into. I can go and try to look for some researches that found how many I can look for it. It gives me a door that I can open and find other doors to open, enhance my knowledge. But with these guys, no, there's nothing to worry about. It. There's nothing. It's zero actually. If I would have only the BBC, I would stop right there. I have the bad guys from Sputnik in this case with an alternate version of depleted uranium shells. I'm going to look into it. But no, you can't. You have to just have us, not the other ones, because the other ones are bad. Like Tucker Carlson. He's a bad dude. Everybody, idiots. Idiots are celebrating, not thinking that if that guy disappears and others like him, bad as you want to call them, that means that could be done to you as long as you don't parrot the party line. You are okay with that? They don't care. Why? Because they don't have a soul. I got the money. I don't care. I tell you whatever you want me to tell you. Whatever you want me to tell you. They sell their mothers for that. So anyway, here it is with this. How will the Russians react? I don't know. I always said if you have a water pipe broken in your house and the water comes inside of your house, you're not going to use a squeegee or you use towels and on buckets and the water keeps coming. You're going to go probably downstairs in the basement or wherever you go and you turn it off, so the water from the city or wherever you get the water doesn't come in the pipe until you repair the pipe. So you go to the origin as far back as you can. If that doesn't solve, then you have to go deeper, go to the city and say, hey guys, stop the water somehow, do something. Or try to repair the broken thing while it's over there, if you can. But you're not going to just use the squeegee or the mop and squeeze and the towels and the water keeps coming. So the Russians, it's the blowing and taking the depleted uranium and blowing up the Challenger 2. I think that's exactly this. I mean, you make sense of all this. I mean, it's someone shoots at you and you just block. Why don't you take care of that source? I mean, it's only logical. I'm not saying, oh my God, they're going to attack Great Britain. They will not attack Great Britain. But you know what I mean? Where is the logic in this? What can they do? Maybe they're going to use some nuclear tactical weapons, a small dose in Ukraine. How about that? And they're going to argue the same way these guys. Well, you guys use two of them. You Americans, you use two. We're going to use smaller dose than the Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Is that okay? And if not, why not? Oh, because that's a war crime. Well, did you get Harry Truman considered a war crime criminal or no? No. So then, you know what I mean? It goes into the continuous hypocrisy that I hate when I see it with these guys that want to be saints and they have behind them full of crimes, and they're, oh no, you can't do that, no, you can't do that, oh my God, they're doing that, and you did it 10 times worse. Thank you very much for understanding. It's just small, depleted quantities. Why don't you do it in your neighborhood and see how the EPA or whatever is going to show up and arrest you on the spot? Just own one. Don't have even to shoot it. You can't own one, but I'm just saying. They give you the capacity in the magazines, how much you can have. You cannot have automatic weapons. You have to really? Whoa, but that's Jesus Christ. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.